Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to go over the tier list for season 14, which I believe is a bit too early to make a complete tier list, but this is going to be an overall tier list plus those two new heroes being Venus and Babylon are going to be speculatively ranked, so they're not tested and they won't be as this video gets released. Eve, however, was tested, and I do believe this is going to be her placement or somewhere along the S tier, but she's definitely one of the better heroes that we have got recently because of her insane PvE damage, insane PvP damage, albeit she does require a lot of investment around her. Her power spike is really strong. So the newest heroes that we got since the last tier list is Lucifer. Lucifer has been the newest meta hero, the newest priority for everyone. She's the best hero in the game by far. If you have a Lucifer enemy doesn't, the likelihood of you winning is pretty much perfect. So Lucifer just makes all teams better, and there's not even a possibility of arguing with that. In PvE, she's great with Atrupus or any other hero. In PvP, she fits all teams, especially the 7 or 8 Ethereals or the Avengers with Aphrodite to disable enemy summons and therefore enable your Aphrodite even more. After that, it's Hela. Hela is the second hero best in the game, and yeah, after that you can see. So the most recent changes I have made is adding Yorm, Arcane Dorbella, and Victoria to SS tier. It didn't feel right having Victoria far below the other Fade heroes just because she's no longer a beast in PvE compared to those two because of the power creep. She's still nonetheless usable and she's still amazing in PvP, especially at 12 stars. So having her rank lower just because there's better heroes didn't feel right to me. And Arcane Dorabella is just simply Pandora. She even excels better than Pandora in some cases. And Yorm is just simply the best buffer after Lucifer and Hela. There's no other better buffer than Yorm. So yeah, that's the reason why Yorm got moved up here, because you can slot her in any PvE matchup and you will have insane damage boost, especially if she's at 9 stars with legendary runes or 2 epic 2 legendary. Arcane Dorbella fits all PvE teams and fits Ethereals in PvP, whether you play 7 to 8 Ethereals or Ethereals with Glorians, that's totally up to you. She will do extraordinary job there because she's just simply too strong in PvP, starting at 8 stars and then getting better at 10 and 12 stars because of the paralyze effect. Then I have added Diana into the S plus tier because she's better Ophelia, but the reason why we are not going to be putting Diana as a priority hero is because Ophelia is free and cheaper. Diana needs 8 stars to be a better Ophelia, while Ophelia just needs 6 stars, eventually 7 stars, but she's again free. She's from the Nightmare ticket, which doesn't really have a better heroes. Although next season this will get updated as far as I have known, or in the next patch, I completely forgot. But yeah, so we will see what happens with the Nightmare card, but Ophelia is just simply cheaper, albeit Diana is better. Elisha is still the second best buffer after Yorm for cases like Rift Odyssey. Yorm is also better than Elisha in PvP in my opinion. Elisha does tend to rely a lot on Arcane Dorbella to proc her freezes, so Yorm just fits any PvP team as well, where Elisha kind of does too, but she's more reliant on multi-actions than Yorm is. Gaia still holds her ground as one of the better buffers in the game by far. She's really strong, fits any team, doesn't have to be in Mystifiers, has the speed advantage. Cleopatra, I think we can move Cleopatra somewhere here. She's still great, but she's no better than these heroes, and I don't think she's gonna be better than Venus. I think Venus will replace her easily in PvE, but we have to see that, obviously. But yeah, maybe even at last. But yeah, overall she's still a great hero, but you're simply not going to be focusing on her because Lucifer does exist. Most of these heroes have stayed the same apart from me adding Tiamat a tier higher, because Tiamat is now required to be 8 stars for the Rift Odyssey. Her value has increased. She's a really strong hero. She's really strong in PvP, but she requires specific setups and she requires to last long for her attack debuff to actually matter. I don't recall where Sarijan Ayushta was last time, but I do believe she was right around here. Maybe she could be higher, maybe she could be not. But yeah, also like something like this. I don't think people are using Astrid anymore, but she's still great nonetheless. So I will play around Astrid and I will slot her somewhere like after Mulan. Eve, as I said, Eve is basically Pandora for Mystifier. She's truly great. She really shines in PvE and PvP. Nowhere close to Pandora's level or Arcane Bella's, but she has potential. So let's keep it at that. I do believe that she can be better if there are new Mystifiers here releasing that will have something to do with Corrode or actions. So yeah, I do believe she has insane potential, just is now being kind of slept on, or rather not slept on, but being overshadowed by other better heroes. But she shouldn't be forgotten because she really is strong. The Sourceborn Marina is like a weaker Eve, but she's far better in PvP. She has that Phantom Illusion counter and she brings 2 Glorians and she has insane damage, like truly insane damage in seasonal PvP. So she's like slightly worse than Eve, but actually better in PvP because of the Phantom Illusion counter and synergy. So if it was PvP, I would swap them, but since it's an overall tier list, I will keep it like that. Mulan 7 stars is still amazing hero. Rift Odyssey, any PV, she will do the job. Astrid not as usable anymore, but she's still a strong hero that people shouldn't underestimate. Aphrodite purely for PvP and some PvE matches like Palace of Penrose or Lost City, but apart from that she requires 7 stars and she's still strong, but now there are 2 counters to Aphrodite, so she's slightly weaker and not as reliable as before. Wu Zetian can be said the same, although she does require 6 stars. She's faster and she does require 2 legendary, 2 epic runes to be a menace in Lost City because she does provide 100% immunity to damage while she steals an enemy. Behemoth, I have moved her slightly behind because she is no longer in PvE as used as before. You don't really need her, she's purely a PvP hero. Actually, I will do this because Odin is more important for PvE and especially Rift Odyssey, although not as much this season, but previous season she also helps in Tomb, so she's also not really better in PvP, but they're about equal, so yeah, although Behemoth is slightly better in PvP in my opinion. Hades is truly amazing, but expensive. Work on him through the guild shop and get his full legendary runes eventually. Then you will be able to use him in Lost City a lot along with Wu Zetian, so there's already 2 enemy heroes gone easily. He's truly amazing in PvP, but might be slightly weaker in the upcoming seasons because I do believe the heroes that we are getting will be more towards Phantom Illusion immunity. Tsuki is S tier, but I do believe she's slowly going to be worse and worse as we get more scaling heroes like Eve. Eve is truly amazing. Tsuki, while she is needed for Eve, I do believe that we will get better replacements soon. Just a speculation, but yeah, you can play her without Eve, without Tsuki as well. Narissa, purely PvP hero, truly Exodia hero in PvP, but she brings nothing to the table in PvE. Icy is slightly better than Narissa because she's also usable in PvE, especially in Palace of Penrose. So yeah, Icy is slightly better in terms of that, and she's also extraordinary in PvP. A hero like Althea has been demoted because we got a better Althea, which is basically Primordial Arcdina. She's also good in PvE, but really makes phantoms far more deadly in the PvP. So Althea got demoted because we did get Primordial Arcdina. Amaterasu got slightly higher because she does benefit Arcane Bella with her ultimate and crit damage increases and shields, etc. Especially if you X her, you can get 4 Ethereals just with Arcane Bella and Amaterasu. So overall, truly great hero. Eudora got demoted because obviously nobody is really running her anymore because of better Ethereals existing. Although she's still strong, a lot of people run her in World Arena. I tried her too. She's really strong, shouldn't be overlooked, but there's currently better heroes that can be used, and she will still do the job in PvE, but like, why waste resources on her when there's better heroes for cheaper? Ying Zheng, not worth the old summons. He's simply a synergy filler, and While what he does is really great for the team, he is not worth the or auto summons, pretty similar to Eudora really. Althea, as I said, demoted because of 6 to 7 to 8 synergy of Avengers, bringing instant revival, and then because of the Primordial Arcdina, so Althea kind of lost her value. Elmer still amazing in Rift Odyssey, but replaced by Ra. Ra is just simply better in there. While Ra sucks in PvP in a way, Elmer does too, so maybe I demote Elmer a bit like here and kind of move Ra in here. Although I would use Bahamut above them both. As far as I know, none of these heroes have been demoted or promoted. Actually, Mavis was demoted. The 6, 7, 8 Avengers now give too much sustain. Mavis doesn't die, she doesn't really do her bomba anymore, so she's quite weak nowadays. You can still run her in a non-maxed account, she will do the job, but in a maxed account with a lot of Avengers, she is not really needed. Janna is slightly better in my opinion, and the Ascended Bastet has been placed in S-, not sure where she was in the last time, but she's strong hero, but is she needed? No. She's really nice in specific matchups and she does boost Mystifiers a lot. So yeah, but her, actually I do think she should be higher. She should be somewhere like here. Yeah. Okay, so I fix her. I do believe that she should be higher. Audrey and all of these heroes are basically free. Lilith is pretty good with 7 ethereals, but simply in 7 ethereals, otherwise she will be benched or used in Palace of Penrose. Shang is mostly benched, but you can use her in World Arena, she's great there. Karnak requires legendary runes. Dullahan is still Dullahan, really great hero, really cool hero. Doris is simply hard to fit for me personally, but her legendary runes are still amazing. Bahamut is just a synergy filler, whether for Glorians or Protectors. And then for the rest of these tiers, I'm not going to talk about them. I moved some heroes at the bottom, so I make some space for these new heroes because it simply doesn't make sense having like Lamia in S- or S or Hecate because they are no longer really there. Emily got power crept by Eve. Eve is just simply better. Catherine no longer used. Lancelot doesn't really fit, although he fits in Protectors, but yeah, if he used. Vittoria purely for PvP with legendary runes, really expensive, really hard to come by, especially if you're a beginner. Elavin, not really used, maybe for Rift Odyssey, but for PvP not that good. Atropus truly shines great with Lucifer in PvE, but for PvP she's terrible. And yeah, Fenrir is slightly better in this season because flat stats got better, so you can use Fenrir with Ying Zheng and Mavis, so you can kind of buff up Mavis by the loss of the previous flat stacks hunters, but it won't be that. You does also have to use Victoria for it. So yeah, quite an expensive dropout for Mavis. And I think that's it. I might have moved down or up some other heroes, but yeah, mostly that's it. I don't think Dorabella is here. I do think she's better, but she does require legendary runes, which nobody will be getting because there's other far better priorities up there. Which heroes I think are kind of sleeper strong that could be usable, where I think that's Busted and I think that's Christine. Perhaps Nyx could see spotlight someday soon. Ariana perhaps, but if she gets like a mini rework or something. Seraphina with Venus perhaps. And then just a bunch of monarchs for Babylon. But yeah, that was it for the tier list video. Hopefully you like it. If not, then I'm sorry, but yeah, that's just my opinions on it. I might make a PvP and PvE only tier list apart from this one, but I will see about that, whether I have time or not. Good luck in your games and see you in the next one.